What's going on, guys? Byron here from ETA Kitchen. And today, if you took a look at our ingredients and you guessed we're going to make dilly pickles, you guessed right. So we're going to make some regular pickles and we're going to make some dilly beans, but not just any dilly beans. We're going to do chili dilly beans. So this is a little bit of chili powder, a little bit of Kashmiri chili powder, smoked paprika, garlic pepper, a little bit of black pepper, and some cumin. That's it. Oh, and some cayenne pepper too. There's some cayenne pepper in there as well. So, as with always, the first thing we're going to want to do, sterilize everything, which you can see I've already done. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create our brine. And we're going to do that by weighing the jar. So we're at 945 grams. Oopsie. I did it wrong. Please forgive me. I forgot to weigh an empty jar and zero it out. I apologize. I'm still pretty new at this. I've never actually done any fermented vegetables this way before. So, go ahead and zero out our scale here. So this is a 32-ounce jar. It weighs 403 grams. Okay, so we just set the tare. Now we're going to weigh our water. We have 542 grams of water. So we're going to come over to our brine calculator. We're going to fire this bad boy up. We want a target brine of 2.5%. We've measured the weight at 542. So 542. And we need 13.55 grams of salt. So, same way we did last night for the hot sauces, which are going really nicely now, by the way. They're just starting. I'll zoom in on that. Oh, the other thing that we're going to be doing, we got some fresh ginger, and this is black garlic. So this is garlic that has been fermented until it turns black. I've only ever used it on steaks, but I've seen really good reviews with people who are using it making pickles. So I figured, you know what the heck? Let's go wild. So once again, 13.55 grams of salt is our target. So we're going to start by measuring out a spoon. At 543. So now our target is going to be 542 plus 13.5 grams. So we need to get this weight to 555 grams. And my scale just turned off. That was not nice. That's close enough. I just got to subtract a gram. There's 544. We're trying to get to 553. 547. $5.49. We're closing in. I'm going to break up this big chunk. $5.51. $5.53. So, sorry, we need to go 1 more gram, 554, because it's 1 gram off. There we go. 555. So that is our 2.5% solution. We can go ahead and turn off the scale. We'll have it available if we need it later. Just in case I don't make enough, which I believe I did. You know what? I'm gonna cheat. Shake it, 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 shake it. Bam! Look at that. All that nice, beautiful salt is dissolved. And we got a cap on it. Cool. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to see if I can pull one of these jars out without burning myself. And I cannot. Because that's still really, really, really hot. So we're going to grab our tongs. Alright guys, even when we flub it up, we film it. Hot, holy poop. Not the advised way to handle these. Just throwing that out there is probably not what you want to do. Probably want to use a dedicated jar lifter. And now that I say that out loud, I think I'm going to go ahead and order a canning jar lifter for another 5 dirham. But since we've already got this one out, I'll go ahead and just take it over here. Dump it out. And we're going to go ahead and start putting our first layer of spice. Just make sure it's good and mixed up. And again, this is just some cumin. A little bit of cumin, about a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons worth of cumin, some garlic pepper, some cayenne pepper, some Kashmiri chili powder, and some regular chili powder. We're just going to put about that much in. That'll be our base layer. Then we're going to go ahead and put some of this beautiful rosemary in. Some people will just stick the whole twig in there. Well, I'm not some people. But we're going to go ahead and put some of that in there. We're going to grab some of this beautiful fresh dill. Now this, we're going to want some of that stalk in there as well. Let's go ahead and put that in there. There we go. That's going to be our base layer. And now we're going to start trimming these beans. Now there's a lot of different ways to do this. I'm going to show you mine. I have a set of kitchen shears that I keep clean and sharp just exactly for this purpose. So now we're going to measure our beans. It's going to be a little bit too tall, so we're going to cut that in half. Now we know approximately what we're looking for. We're just going to trim the ends, check it for any deformities, and we're just going to fill up the jar. In case you're wondering where the garlic and the ginger come in, those are going to come in here in just a little bit. We're going to get our base layer. And thank you, Mr. Pandar, for the suggestion on trying dilly beans. These look like they're going to be pretty wonderful. So let's rock out and make some dilly beans. Dilly beans. Dilly, 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 dilly beans. Dilly beans. Dilly beans. Dilly bean and a green dilly bean. All right, we're going to put you on time lapse. Alrighty, so we've got our base layer, and we're going to pack this down tight. Because remember, we don't want any air bubbles. So we want to smush, smush, smush. But we don't want to smash the beans. We just want to shove them down in there because we want to get as many as possible in here. And as you can see, we still got a bunch to go. Now we're going to go ahead and put in some of this gorgeous ginger. I wish you guys could smell this. We're going to put in some of this black garlic. I don't know. It was weird. I've seen a bunch of people talking about it. They said it's the best thing ever. I've used it on steaks before, and it's pretty good. I don't know necessarily that's the best thing ever, but I'm going to go ahead and break this up a little bit more. I know it's weird seeing garlic that's black, but whatever. We're going to roll with it. Put another layer of the spice mix because we likes it spicy. And back to the time warp. Yeah. And we're back. So as you can see, we got a whole bunch of them green beans shoved up in there, man. We're just going to shove them down in there. This is right about the line, so we're going to want the water about here. But that's less of a concern, and I say that because we're going to be using the vacuum fermentation seals. So they're going to keep everything nice and tight and clean. So we're going to be able to go ahead and take these up all the way to the top. So now we're just going to put in a little bit more of that spice mix. Just want to make sure that that gets good and in there. And one of the things that I've been reading, they warned about using too much garlic. So you don't want to use too much garlic, and obviously I don't want to use too much ginger. So I'm going to try to use just the right amount, and I think that's going to be right. I think that's where I want to be. I don't really know because I've never done this before, but hey, you know what? Even if it's a failure, we will post the results because here at ETA Kitchen, we believe the only way forward is through learning. And you know what? If you've never failed, you've never learned anything. I don't care who you are. Life is not about what you do with your life is not what you do with your successes. It's what do you do with your mistakes. If you recover from it, then you're all good. I'll be right back. I gotta go dump this water out because this is gonna burn me, and I don't wanna be like a Blue Oyster Cult. I don't want them burning from me. You know what? I need something to put this on that's clean. Shucky darn, shucky darn. All right, well, it can sit there. So we managed to get one out without burning ourselves. I'm kind of proud of me. Let's see. All right, cool. And we got our lid. And we got our sterilized seal. So we're just going to let the rest of that do its thing while we do this. Now this is for the dilly beans, and good Lord, this is hot. This is really hot. If I wasn't made out of steel and asbestos, because I'm a real man, I would be concerned. Thankfully, I am in fact made out of steel and asbestos. Let's go ahead and fill her up, son. Cool. Right about where we want it. That's our target, more or less. We shove this weight in there. Oh, popsicles. well, looks like we're not going to be able to use the weight for this one. I've got the jar full up. So you know what? I'm just going to go ahead. We're going to fill this all the way up to the brim because we're experimenting here. And we're going to go ahead and put our So Light lid on there. See if we can get a seal. All right. Nope. And I just want to reiterate, this is not the seal's fault. There we go. I think we got her on good. I'm going to go grab our pump. And I hope you guys can see this, but see all the air bubbles? That's what happens when you get it down to no air in the jar. And you do not want any air in this jar. Oops. Looks like I got a little of the solution. But that's okay. Because what's important is we want to get all the air bubbles out. Air is bad, okay? We're going to let it do its thing, and it's pulling the air up. Oh yeah. That's getting a nice, good, tight seal. We're going to leave that go for a little bit because I see air bubbles rising. So we're going to go ahead and let it do its thing. And we're going to use a little bit more caution with the next one. So what are we doing next? Well, we got these beautiful dill pickles. Oh, wait, you said these are cucumbers? That's right, they're not dill pickles yet, but they will be. We're not doing a vinegar fermentation, we're doing a lacto fermentation. And when we're done with the lacto fermentation, we're going to put them in some apple cider vinegar, and then we're going to have some genuinely amazing pickles. So I'm going to go swap out the battery, and I'll be right back. And we're back. Just like that, magical battery change. Life is good. So, you guys already know what the dill is. I'm sorry. You know what the drill is. And the drill is that we got to make some dill. We're going to start by trimming the ends of the pickle. Or I'm sorry, pickle to be. You're not a pickle yet, young man. But you will be. You will be. I'm going to slice them in half. Slice them in half again. And you want some different sizes because you want to be able to shove these in there every which way. Right? So I don't know how many it's going to take to fill up the jar, but I know how many I've got to use. This is me trying to be cool, and it didn't really work out. Anyway, moving on. And because I can't decide if I want spears or if I want pickled chips, I'm going to do both at the same time. These, of course, have all been through the veggie wash process already. So they're already ready to rock and roll. Everybody loves a nice thick pickle chip. Am I right? We don't want no tiny chips around here. We're talking about the big green ones. Oh yeah. Now the chili pepper is just going to give it a nice little spicy kick, while the mustard seed and the black pepper and the garlic pepper and the garlic and the ginger just give it a little pizzazz, if you will. Yes, I know I dropped a pickle. Don't judge me. Don't judge me for dropping the pickle, man. It's 2021. I can drop a pickle if I want to. That is a really mother effing hot jar. Just for the record. We're going to see where we're at here. All the bubbles have stopped coming out, so that's a good sign. I'm going to hit this one just one more time. Yep, that's about all we're going to get out of that. Cool. So we got us some Dilly Chilli Dilly beans. Mr. Pandar, thank you for your suggestion. Mr. Llama, because I know you like pickles, I'm going to try to get this pickle recipe down pat. So then we can get a pat pickled pepper. Or pat. You know what I meant. Man. Don't judge me. I'm having a day. Alright. So we got the jar. And we're just going to go ahead. I know some people are watching this going, God, this guy's weird. To which I reply, you are absolutely right. I can't see you. I'm never going to see you other than Mr. Pandar, Mr. Llama, who I actually want to see. The rest of the people watching this, I mean, maybe my daughter, if she's out there watching, maybe she'll throw us some comments. I bet she'll throw us some comments. All right, so before we get too far, we're going to go ahead and throw our rosemary in there. Now, I've never tried rosemary in dill pickles before, but you know what? Life is about experimentation, so we're going to experiment. We're going to ride this donkey for the next week and see where it takes us. All right? So now we got some dill, which of course, you can't have dill pickles without the dill, right? Am I right? Let's go in there. We're going to go a little bit dill heavy on this because I like dill. And the best pickles I've ever had, I had in Kazakhstan, believe it or not. We're going to throw some of that stock in there as well because the stock's got some nice flavory, oily stuff. And now we're going to start packing our pickles. That's right. If Papa packed a pack of pickles. Wow. Dude, I'm going to be able to use all my pickles. That's ready to rock. These are not Kirby pickles. For those of you who may be watching that are outside of my family, they're not Kirby pickles. I don't care. These are what I have. I've seen Kirby pickles in Abu Dhabi exactly once in 12 years. So we're going to try these. They're called snack pickles. They look kind of the same. They've got some of the bumps as the Kirby's. Are they going to be any good? I don't know. That's why we're going to try this and find out. But I am more than reasonably sure these dilly beans are going to rock. And man, I'm getting all kinds of air bubbles coming out of this, so I might have to hit this mug again just to make sure. Yeah, I'm still pulling some bubbles out. I think I've just got to kind of hold that still and steady. Let it pull a vacuum until all them bubbles stop coming out. Man down! So now, can you make these at home if you don't have these cool lids? Yes, you can. If you're going to do it at home without the cool lids, you're going to fill it up to here. Yep, you're going to fill it up to there. And you're going to leave the headroom, and you're just going to use a weight to shove everything down. Now, some people use like some cabbage, and they'll fold a couple extra veggies to keep everything pressed down. You can do all of that, or You can spend $8 and buy the vacuum packing, gas burping lids. So this is what we got going on the hot sauce. You can see this is Pandar's Revenge, and it is reacting beautifully. It's already starting to get cloudy on day 1. So that's a good thing. We're going to... Looks like we got a little bit more air. So we're going to hit it again. Want to make sure we get absolutely all the air bubbles out. If you have air, you're going to have mold. So when you do this at home and you don't have these cool, $8, guys, they're $8. You could save your allowance and get $8, I promise. Or heck, if you really want me to, Mr. Pandar, Mr. Llama, I'll send you guys a pair. I'll send you a set because they're really cool. And the smell coming out of here, woo! All right, so now we pulled that down into a vacuum. We definitely don't have any air in there now. We're going to do the same for Llama's Revenge. And even though I've already done this, I'm still pulling air out of here, which is a little weird. So I'm starting to think I'm going to crank down on that a little bit. Another 1/8 of a turn. There we go. That seems to be pretty good right there. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Man, I keep getting a whole bunch of air bubbles come out of this. I'm really surprised. Those might be gas bubbles from fermenting. I'm not sure. That's pulling a good vacuum. I'm going to leave that pulling a vacuum for a little while because that's definitely air bubbles farting up out of there, and that's not good. I mean, it's good that we're getting them. It's good that we're getting them now. But I'm not entirely sure if that's from the fermentation that's already taken place, or if that's just from air bubbles because I didn't mash it down good enough. I don't know. Anybody else watching on YouTube that has done this before, maybe you can tell me. And tell me what I'm looking at. I will say, though, this is definitely working good, because that is definitely air coming out. And I'm just going to gently tap it until we get it all out. Pull this down into a vacuum again. Yeah, that's it. That's all we're getting. That's a nice tight seal. Yep, that's it. That's all we're gonna get. We'll keep that vacuum going. And it's not a big deal because as the air bubbles pop out, I can just come back and re-vacuum this. So I'm gonna hit it again in the morning and make sure that it's maintaining its pressure properly. Hit these dilly beans again too, just to make sure. And dilly beans are good and tight. And pickles are good and tight. Cool. All right, guys. So we're going to update you on the progress. They're chilling right here. I'm going to be checking them every morning and every afternoon. And there it is. Room temperature is 81 Fahrenheit, so it's a little bit warm. Make sure that the air conditioner comes on, because we want to keep it between 65 and 75 Fahrenheit ideally. So maybe that's why I'm getting the reaction that I've gotten out of the hot sauce. I just realized I must have turned off the air conditioner last night and the ambient temperature rose to 81. So maybe that's what I was seeing. But this is definitely bubbling already. So it could be that this fermentation is just kicked off a little bit early, and that's why I'm seeing all these bubbles come up. That is entirely possible. So it's a good thing that I caught it. It's a good thing that I noticed it, and it's a good thing that we check it. Now the last step, we're going to go ahead and fill out the labels for these here jars. Because we want to know when we started our fermentation process. We want to keep a log, right? We want to keep a track of it. So today, batch ID is Dilly beans. Chilli Dilly bean. Start date is 18 April 21. And the dill pickles. Start date 18 April 21. All right. So now we've got our labels. Now we got our labels. I'm gonna go ahead and stick them on our jars. I'm gonna have to buy some more of these here sometime, but that's okay. I think what I'm gonna do is buy the Avery printable labels because they're like really cheap. I think I'm just gonna use those. You get like 5,000. Alrighty. So now we got everything labeled. Bam, 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 bam. So we're going to check on these bad boys tomorrow morning. We'll give you a little update as we go. But we're going to go ahead and edit this video and post it. So for stage 1, on the chili dilly beans, the dill pickles with chili, and 2 different types of hot sauces, this is Byron. Y'all have a great day.